¿Cómo están mis queridos alumnos? Muy buenos días. Bienvenidos a una clase más de Inglés Fácil con Rocío Bagó. El día de hoy tenemos una clase de a pesares. A pesar de, ya, despite, in spite of y although. Así es que corra, vuele. Vaya y traiga su cuaderno, sus lápices de colores, su pluma, su lápiz, sus sticky notes, todo. Y póngase ahora sí muy atento, muy atenta a la pantalla. Ya sabe usted, la primera parte de la clase es en inglés y después repito todo en español. Así es que es también una práctica de listening. Póngase muy atento y let's get started. Sure, despite. Despite is a preposition and it means even so, or despite the train's crash, nobody got hurt. Despite the train's crash, nobody got hurt. Oh, the crash was really bad. I'm so glad no toy got hurt. It's a toy. Okay, the train's crash. Despite his efforts, he could not win the competition. Oh, sorry, buddy. Despite his efforts, he could not win the competition. So, even if he tried really hard, he couldn't make it. Despite. One more. Despite the weather, he decided to go out with his cat. Do you see the little cat? He's there. Despite the weather, he decided to go out with his cat. So yeah, it's raining. Doesn't matter. He wanted to go out with his kitty cat. So, despite the weather. But we also have in spite of. And that means the same. Yes, same meaning, same everything. Despite the train's crash, nobody got hurt, or in spite of the train's crash, nobody got hurt. Just the same thing. Despite or in spite of. The very same thing. One more. Despite his efforts, he could not win the competition. Despite or in spite of his efforts, he could not win the competition. In spite of. Same thing. Despite the weather, he decided to go out with his cat. Or in spite of the weather, he decided to go out with his cat. Same thing, nothing. So, got it? Okay, well, thank you so no. Stop. What is although? What's that? Oh, well, although is the same. Yeah, the same meaning. The same meaning. Let's see the same thing one more time. Despite the train's crash, nobody got hurt. In spite of the train's crash, nobody got hurt. Although the train's crash, nobody got hurt. Yeah, although. The same thing. Despite his effort, he could not win the competition. In spite of his effort, he could not win the competition. Although his efforts, he could not win the competition. Although, in spite of, despite. What can we do? It's the same thing. Although. Despite the weather, he decided to go out with his cat. In spite of the weather, he decided to go out with his cat. Oh my God, my telephone is always, ringing, ring, ring. Okay, in spite of. Although the bad weather, he decided to go out with his cat. Okay, although what? Oh, although the bad weather. It's actually, well, although you use it as the same way. And by the way, although or just though, you will find them the very same way. So we have despite, in spite of, although, and though. Oh yeah, just one meaning. And one more example. Despite she lives in the same building, I never see her around. Despite she lives in the same building, I never see her around. Despite or in spite of she lives in the same building, I never see her around. Although she lives in the same building, I never see her around. And you can pronounce it with me, please. GH, you don't pronounce it. So, although she lives in the same building, I never see her around. Although she lives in the same building, I never see her around. Got it? No eran trabalenguas. No, no, no. Usted también. Relájese. No se ponga tan tenso. Y ya verá usted cómo esto en realidad es pan comido. Lo que no haya entendido lo va a ver ahora en la parte de español. So let's switch to Spanish. Fun. Despite. Despite es una preposición que significa a pesar de. Despite the train's crash, nobody got hurt. Despite the train's crash, nobody got hurt. A pesar del choque del tren, nadie salió lastimado. Como verá usted, fue un choque muy importante. Lo bueno es que es de juguete y ninguno de los juguetitos salió lastimado. Train's crash. ¿Ha visto usted la clase? ¿Esto? ¿Qué es esto? ¿Por qué la S? Aquí. ¿Sí sabe por qué? Hay una clase sobre de eso. Véala. Y le voy a poner aquí. No, mejor al final, como siempre, un enlace a la clase correspondiente. Despite his efforts, he could not win the competition. A pesar de sus esfuerzos, él no pudo ganar la competencia. Lo siento, mi amigo. Para la próxima. Tú síguele. Despite. Tenemos, despite the weather, he decided to go out with his cat. Despite the weather. A pesar del clima, él decidió salir con su gatito. Que véanme, no que es una ternurita. Bueno, él decidió, se ve que no es una super tormenta, ¿verdad? Bueno, como sea, está lloviendo un poco y él salió de todas formas, a pesar del clima. Despite, a pesar. But. También tenemos in spite of. ¿Qué significa? Me adelanté. ¿Qué significa? El mismo, lo mismo. Sí, significan lo mismo. Despite the train's crash, nobody got hurt. O in spite of the train's crash, nobody got hurt. Exactamente lo mismo. A pesar del choque del tren, ningún juguetito salió lastimado. O despite his efforts, he could not win the competition. A pesar de sus esfuerzos, él no pudo ganar la competencia. O in spite of his efforts, he could not win the competition. A pesar, lo mismo, a pesar de. Despite the weather, he decided to go out with his cat. Or, in spite of the weather, he decided to go out with his cat. Lo mismo, despite o in spite of. Se usan igual y significan a pesar. So, got it? Muchas gracias por haber estado aquí conmigo. Nada que. ¿Cuál? Nos falta algo. ¿Qué es although? ¿Qué es eso? Although. Recuerde, la GH es muda en inglés, así es que es simplemente all y luego la TH, th. Although. ¿Y qué es? Bueno, pues es lo mismo. Although significa a pesar. Así es que vamos de nuevo. Despite the train crash, nobody got hurt. Despite. In spite of the train crash, nobody got hurt. In spite of. Although the train crash, nobody got hurt. A pesar del choque del tren, nadie salió lastimado. Despite his efforts, he could not win the competition. A pesar de sus esfuerzos. In spite of his efforts. A pesar de sus esfuerzos. Although his efforts. A pesar de sus esfuerzos. No ganaste, mi amigo. Sigue practicando y verás que la próxima sí. So, although, despite the weather, he decided to go out with his cat. Despite, a pesar. In spite of the weather, he decided to go out with his cat. A pesar. Although the bad weather, he decided to go out with his cat. Although what? Bueno, aquí le agregué. Although the bad weather. A pesar del mal clima. Pero igual se pudo haber agregado antes. Despite the bad weather. In spite of the bad weather. O sea, es lo mismo. Y although, también conocido como though, se maneja de una u otra forma. Así es que tenemos ni más ni menos que 4 cosas. Un significado. Despite, in spite of, although y though. Yeah. 4 cosas, un significado. Despite she lives in the same building, I never see her around. Or, in spite of she lives in the same building, I never see her around. Although she lives in the same building, I never see her around. A pesar de que vive en el mismo edificio, nunca la veo alrededor. Todas las frases significaron lo mismo. ¿Pude haber hecho otra con though? Sí, sí pude. Pero francamente, ya lo tengo harto, ¿no? Gareth, ya vio, no es complicado. Nada complicado. Es simplemente cuestión de que lo entendamos. Así es que muchas gracias por haber estado conmigo aquí el día de hoy. Esta clase, algo corta. Creo yo que es corta, pero sustanciosa. Son palabras para la vida diaria que usted necesita hablar ahora que ha decidido aprender a hablar inglés bien de una vez por todas y por eso está aquí conmigo y yo sé que usted puede. Por supuesto que puede. Muchas gracias y nos vemos en la próxima. Hasta luego.